thank you for stopping by. Bon dia.
Bon dia.
It's not a bad setting for an interview, is it?
It's perfect place. I miss Manchester, the rain and the windy.
You've been here a couple of days.
Yeah.
How's the mood in the camp?
Yeah, perfect. I think we need it a little bit. After winter time in Manchester, so a lot of games, the Boxing Days and so on. So, like we could not play it as we can. So it was short, but it was nice. The people enjoyed it a lot. We changed a little bit and ready to come back.
Lots of smiley faces out there. How do you assess the season? Where are we in the season? Are you happy with where the team is?
A lot. We will be the gap again in the Premier League will be closer, but in the gap between the players are behind us in that moment will be bigger. So, but the Premier League is so tough. But especially how they compete, they played not in the important games when they were amazing in the Premier League, in the Champions League. Even in the games, where sometimes it's difficult to be focused, to be mentally in good approach. They were standing, so it's no complaint. It's a pleasure, like a manager, to work with that guys. It's a real pleasure.
What have you learned? What's the big thing you've learned from being in England for these 9 months?
No, I think like a manager, what we learn is about your players. So yeah. Of course, every country has his special things. The competition is tough for many reasons, but in Spain is tough as well, and Germany, and when I've been. So in everywhere it has his difficult issues, but the reason why I'm coach, I'm manager, or I think all the managers is day by day on the field with the players, the relation with them, the way we want to play to try to get him better, improve, and you see, you can imagine that in the next time, in the next seasons will be better and better. That is the reason why we are managers. That's why I'm so delighted to work with them.
Can we talk a little bit about the bonding of the players? So you come into a dressing room where you don't know anyone,
yeah,
and now you know them a lot better.
Yeah.
How have they bonded as a group?
Yeah, when you arrive, it's so difficult taking decisions because at the end you don't know them. You have an image, an idea, what you have seen in the past, on the field, off the pitch, when the people talk about, but you have to know them to be fair and to be clear. And now, of course, my decisions have more fundamentals, no, about that. When you arrive, is try to, okay, guys, we're going to live in that way. We're going to try to play in that way, and try to enjoy because that at the end is a game.
How do you get in their minds? How do you, as a manager, get in 24, 25 different players, different ages, some are fathers, some are young
countries,
boys,
different mentalities, yeah.
How do you do that?
That is the deal, that is the deal. Is sometimes you are able to convince them, sometimes not. So they have to put something on the table to be convinced or to be part of something we want to do.
Yeah.
So what I was completely focused from the beginning is said we have to think in one way. We cannot think in different ways, and because at the end the tactics is, of course, is important, but it's not the most important thing. And from the beginning I felt that everybody follow us, the staff, the people. So I am really impressed, for example, the staff that we have. So the doctors, the physios, the sports analysis, all the people is working with and helping the players, the commitment. I'm delighted. In that sense, I don't have any complaints about that. I am a privileged guy to work with, not just with the players, for that guys, and try every day the problems we have, try to solve, try to sometimes be clear, because we have to be clear with them, because to know me or to know what we want to do, you have to be straight, you have to be clear what you have to do, and but they accept that, and that's why it's okay.
And you change little things. I mean, we've read about some of them in the press, the Wi-Fi, the diet, the nutrition. I mean, take the Wi-Fi for instance, or switch it. Tell me if it's true first. Did you order the Wi-Fi?
No, there are places that I don't like. So I know today, your generation, my generation is completely different than my kid generation. So the mobile, the computer is part of their lives. So before you read the books, now they are in the computer.
Correct.
But there are some areas, like of course our players, they kind of spend with the mobile all day. But there are some players, the massage room, for example, with the physios where they work. I don't like one physio working with the players and the players texting. Or so the day is enough long. We are 3-4 hours together in the morning, 5 hours. We have 10 hours more, 12 more to answer the messages. So, but I understand as well. So I understand the players everybody has his devices.
We all do. We all live on our
course,
phones.
of course.
You talk about your generation and the players I knew when I was watching City growing up.
Yeah.
No one got off a coach with headphones on. One got off a coach with a phone. The players went out drinking. They went out to nightclubs at different times, I know. But does what you did help them bond so they talk to each other more now? Do you think your players talk to each other more than they did when you got here?
Yes, they agree. So it's not to say we're going to do that, I'm going to say that, I'm going to because I'm the manager. No, I try to we're going to do that for that reason. Only that, for respect for your staff are working with you, take caring you, they live for you. So you have to respect the people who's working with you for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. It's nothing special. Of course they need and they have to use it because today the social media is so important for the clubs, for the players, for everybody. So
what about media in general? What about you and the media in general? I mean, every movement you make on the touchline, we've seen it here in Abu Dhabi even. Every time you sit down, every time you go anywhere, clicks, cameras, phones.
No, but here is we are privileged. Here's much better.
Yeah.
I think in Europe we would be more controlled than here. I think here is not. Here is so relaxed. In the hotel, you have the training camp, the pitch in 1 minute. The people can do so. Here, the media is it's completely.
But how
different.
do you cope with it in general? I mean, presumably you've been in the game a long time. You were a player, a very famous player. You know what the media wants. But do you ever get time to be private?
Yeah, I have a private life. It's okay.
Yeah.
The people respect. So sometimes you go for Dean's Gate and they make me some pictures, and the people ask, but that is not a problem.
You don't mind that?
No, the people respect our private lives a lot.
Do you think that the media, the globalization of the media means that managers are not going to be around for as long? So Alex Ferguson was a manager for 30 years, 40 years.
Yeah.
You know, you said
I don't know.
You will stop at some point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if what will happen. I think in the past it was more relaxed. Today is increased. Before it was 4 journalists, there is 40.
Yeah.
It was 2 cameras, now there are 20. It was 1 radio, after 10. And Twitter and Instagram and everybody making an opinion. So that's why you have to be apart and focus in your private life and your family and of course in your job. If not, you become crazy.
But one of the ways you get away is playing golf.
Yeah.
I believe you've had a game while you've been in Abu Dhabi. How did that go?
I spend my free time. The most important thing, the players didn't see me, I didn't see them. That is the most important. I didn't see my staff didn't see me, that's the most important. With Brian Kidd, we make a good games in a beautiful golf course. And
Sadiat, was it?
Yeah. We were there
and you won. I hear you won. Is that correct?
No, he beat me.
Who did?
Brian beat me.
you.
He's an amazing player. He's an English player. I never met an English player that don't play good golf, so it's impossible to do that.
You need to keep your eye on him. Maybe he's sneaking
off. No, he beat me. No, but I'm honest.
And golf is a game I know that fascinates you. The mind, is it the mind part of the game that interests you most?
Yeah. I love the golf for many reasons. First, for the environment, for the peace you play, you're in nature. The second one, for there are no referees there. The rules is for everybody. So in our games, it's be influenced for the decisions for the referees too much. And in a good ways, in a bad ways. So I'm not saying about it's fair and unfair is what it is, okay? But there is in the rules, and we start in the same moment, in the same places. It's as less strokes you do to put in the goal, you're going to win the tournament. So that is the fair. The rules, it doesn't matter what it is. It's the important team, no team, important managers, no managers, influence the media, no influence the media. There it's the first. I think it's the first game I ever met. And after that is you compete with yourself. And of course, I think it's a mental tough game. And I think all the managers for other sports, you can learn a lot about how important is what the people say, to be in the present, to the next one is the most important thing. What happened in the past and the shot before, good or bad, doesn't count. And the routines, to be always positive. It doesn't matter what happened behind before, it's your game, because no influence for the opponents or no influence for that's why it's fascinating and of course it's
you can translate that into football. So
some of the I think so, because at the end it's in the sport, and at the end is you like your brain, your mind in the game. And I think the psychologist in the golf is so important. I don't know how involved is in football, because golf is the ball is a stop. It's not the opening cam, not the referee take a decision. In football, instead, is everybody move and opponents come here, there for the other part. It's completely different. So golf is you are alone and they're your teammates. So.
Yeah. And you see in the big tournaments, sometimes it's the mental breakdown that stops players winning.
Yeah, that's true.
And plus, in golf,
in golf, it's so difficult to see one player to win 2 or 3 games in a row. It was one period like Tiger Woods when he arrived, he was able to win 10 or 9 or 10 when everybody was in love. But now I think it's impossible to see that. How the players. That means how difficult it is. Everybody can win, and I think the future in football, in basketball, is going to happen. It's like NBA. It's difficult to see. Okay, Michael Jordan period won 3-3, and sometimes with the Lakers with Kobe Bryant. But I think last season, 2 years ago, when Golden State, now with Cleveland, we're going to see next season, and I think the football is going to happen, and the sports in general is going to happen because today. The competition, the competitors, the players are much better. Everybody has a lot of budgets to spend a big money. Everybody knows for everybody. We know each other. We know more the secrets than the other ones. So you cannot hide the secrets for the opponents. So that's why we'll be always more.
So people talk about fine margins, little percentages, whether it's change of diet or a change of routine. Is that how it is? Is it those small things can make such a big difference?
Yeah, of course. So I would like to give the players to eat whatever you want, to do whatever you want. In the past that happened, but in the past don't play his amount of games now in that moment of playing, and didn't play in this high intensity. So the players in the past run 7-8 kilometers per game, now playing 12 and 30 kilometers, so it's almost the double. And the energy you spend is higher, and you need to recover that energy. And of course, the little details make an influence in the food, in the way you rest, and that's why you have to try to control as much as possible what we control, because the gap is so different. The last game against Monaco, for example, we are 1-1. We have a penalty, one of the most incredible penalties I ever seen in my life. It's no penalty, you pass maybe 2-1 to 1-2. Yeah. And in the right moment, they have a penalty, and they have the 1-3 2-2. Yeah. So what is the difference of that? We didn't score goals in set pieces in the corners, and we scored 2 goals in the corners. So football is the little details, and we did, and we won 5-3, and we could lose, and at the end we prepared the game in the same way. So that's why the gap, the line is so thin, small. And you have to try to be there to control as much as possible.
You've mentioned the future and the way football might go. Can we just talk about the youth at Manchester City? So they got to the semi-finals of the Youth Cup. They beat Aston Villa the other night. I've met you at games. You've watched them a lot. How I
think Manchester City has to be so proud. Believe me, I am new here. It's not a long time. I am really impressed the work all the people in Manchester, the English people, for a long time here. the new people working here about the academy, about how they are working. And I think there are 4 or 5 players. Of course, they are young with 16, 17, 18 years old. But there are 4 or 5 that will be delighted to be for a long time here and give them the hand to put on the field, to feel protect with the manager, with the experienced guys in the first team, and play them. Because I know how important it is to have for the fans, for the people who grew up from the academy, and they have to know we are there. So we cannot put them if they are not talent. We cannot put them if they are not able or willing to take that challenge too. But we are there, and we are good. And they are good enough, and they have a passion, and they want to become. They want to live for that. They want to become something in Europe, something in the world football. To player, they have to know. All the players, the academy, we are there. And they have to know that. It depends on them.
Might you take some of them on tour this summer? Will they graduate that quickly? Is that a possibility?
Who?
Some of the under 18s, some of them may be in your first team squad next season or on
in
the
the
fringe.
summer camp, 4 or 5 guys will come. We are coming with us. But it depends on them.
Yeah, it's up to them. They've got to work hard. So which brings me to young players in. So go younger than that. All children like kicking a football, don't they? How old is old enough to start playing competitive football? And do we start them too young?
That is not age. For example, Messi started with 16 years old competitors, but Messi is, of course, an exception. Of course, I think that guys, you have not to put the pressure. You have to live or let them his body make for himself. Not because they're going to spend more hours in the gym, they will be stronger and faster. Forget about it. So the nature is more intelligent than our job. And the guy who is fast will be fast, and the guy who will be taller, and the guy who will be stronger will be stronger. When? Year by year by year. The important is the talent, and the talent, they have the talent. And that is, of course, sometimes maybe it's a big problem. It's not just the talent is enough, and not what their managers say it's enough, or not the social media say it's enough, or not what the city TV say it's enough. So it's enough. Sometimes it's a mistake. So they are going to come, and they have to know they are not good enough still. They have a big gap to improve, because I was a manager with a player with 28, 29 years old, and even there with 32 players were better players, because they were able to learn. So sometimes we believe, okay, that guy is good with 17 years old, go in the first team, and we believe he's ready. No. They are just a 10% of they can.
What about little children though? Is it? Can you play too much competitive football, organised football, when you're 7 or 8 years old? Could you fall out of love with football?
No, in that age, what they have today is just play. And play as much as possible. In the street, I don't know which way is possible. In our period, it was much better. Today, I don't know. And play and play and play. And that's all. And make mistakes and play day, afternoon, and night. That is what I have to do. And let them. And some advice about behavior. Some advice about, okay, we're going to play in that way to understand the game, of course. As quick as possible, try to tactics, to understand the game, why we decide to do that or not in the other way. That is, and I think the players will believe they have the talent, as much as possible, train with the good players, with the first team.
Do you get more pleasure out of winning a trophy or seeing a player you've coached reach his full potential?
With the titles, with this kind of players.
So you want both?
That is both, that's true. In the professional way, I understand completely the people who win titles and prizes. That's why we're here. I understand completely. But of course, the players to feel you help that guy, to give you the opportunity. But at the end, they deserve the opportunity. I'm not a guy to say, I give you, because that is a real world, and they have to deserve that to be there. But they deserve, and you can, and after that they make their careers, and you maybe help them a little bit to do that, or give you the opportunity. At the end, sometimes you think too much about how important we are, and at the end, if they are good have a good mentality, and they love the game. Yeah. They love the game, not like a profession. To be there like an amateur.
Yeah, an amateur.
An amateur. Yeah. So love, because when they are 6, 7 years old, they play football, they have fun, and still they have that spirit every single day in their careers, and after that they do for them. But if maybe they believe you helped a little bit, that is a big pleasure. Of course, that is a big pleasure.
So when Pep Guardiola's finished with this, the glamour and the money of the big professional leagues, and he's on the golf course 5 days a week, would there be a Pep Guardiola academy? Would you ever?
Maybe. Maybe it's the only way I will. Maybe I would like to finish where I start.
Yeah.
But that is happen when I will be, of course, in the way we're going to live. I will not move more, and the maybe. Because I love, for the next years I'll be manager, but maybe I will finish what I will start. Yeah.
Because someone told me they were driving back with you from a press conference at City.
Yeah.
And you said stop the car. You just wanted to watch young players doing their work.
Yeah, because the most pleasure to see one player with good quality, when you can imagine how good can be. So and be with them, and his eyes, how they listen, what we tell them. That is a huge pleasure. It's like a teacher, in the school, the mathematics and the history is there, and teach him something, and you see one student when I like the most about the history, about that professor, that teacher will be more involved in that guy.
And you hear people on TV and say, this teacher was the biggest influence in my life. And it's the same for a football coach.
That's the same as the football, of course, because we need someone, behind us, or in front of us, to help go in that way, because I think we're going to, maybe after that is going to happen, because football is so competitive, and maybe the level will not be enough, or maybe you mistaken your decisions, it's just like this. But that is the most beautiful thing, and to see I was in the academy in Barcelona and see the players dreaming to be there, and how they come to every training session, and how they try to follow you. That is.
So when people talk about the Cruyff method or the Cruyff way, 20 years time they might be saying the Guardiola way, maybe with kids.
But I don't think so, because the influence for Johan Cruyff was huge. He changed the mentality for the two clubs, like a football player, like a manager. Ajax Amsterdam in Barcelona, and his influence is not comparable. He was the most influenced person in the world football in the last 50, 60 years. Nobody can compare with him. Influence on the pitch when he's a coach, but a manager with a lot of players. So a lot of players we were in his church, in his hands, in his mind, in his passion. Most of them now we are coaches. And
thankful to him.
His tribute, we can never pay what he has done for us, never.
On the sidelines as a manager, you nicely, we're matching today, except you fit yours better than I fit mine.
No.
How do you decide what you wear on the touchline? We've seen the cap, we've seen the D-squared coat, we've seen loafers, we've seen the tracksuit.
No, but D-squared provided me for a long time. The suit now is a partner from Manchester City. And I have a relation with them. They are so good. We're so kind. And
what about the cap? Where's that come? That's like a nod to Northern England.
Yeah, the cap. I have to use it, the British cap.
Yeah,
I have to
absolutely.
use it. But sometimes I am a little bit shy what the people is going to talk. But maybe next winter I'm going to use, because now sometimes I'm cold. I don't have hair, and I am cold. I have to use it.
Just getting back to the football, we're getting to the part of the season where we're still in 3 competitions.
Yeah.
It's getting very serious. Thankfully, we've not got too many long-term injuries. Where do you see the season ending? What are your hopes for the rest of the season?
But I would like to compete well. I would like to. So now it's coming the real part of the season. If we are able to rev in April, May to compete to win the titles. If we miss now, we are not able. So the gap in Chelsea is so big in the Champions League, in the Premier League. So they miss a few times in the important games against them. And Tottenham, for example, at home, that was the reason why the gap is there when we deserve to win. And the cup is always the finals, and the Champions League, of course. Now we have first game, we have a terrible game in Monaco, so because the level in that competition is so tight, it is so level. But I want to see the team with competing well. We have done in the last month and a half. So
how-
the people can say Manchester City play good or bad,
Yeah.
like or not like, but you cannot say that people was there until the end and fight. Even in Leicester game, 4-0, 4-2, we were there to score the 4-3, and always we were there. Always we were there, and that is what I want to see until the end of the season.
And how important can the fans be in that? Because you were geeing them up at the Etihad a few weeks back. Can the fans play a proper, big part in the end of the season?
They should know that, or they have to know that. So we are stronger with them. So
Amazing atmosphere against Monaco.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why we make what we make. They love the club more than me. So that's why they have to be with us. They have to be good. We want to be with them. We want to be with them. And against Swansea game, for
Yeah.
example, and against the last, we scored 3 goals in the last 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Etihad is the strongest stadium for the opponents. And we cannot achieve the targets in terms of the way we want to play, in the terms of the title without them. No way. It's impossible.
Preparations for next season, are they running parallel? Are you already planning for next season?
Yeah, I am planning. Chick is planning. The staff is planning. Of course, the money had to have one eye in the short, in the medium, and the long term.
Well, just if I may, can I just ask you about that? So when you buy a player this summer, are you buying him for the next season, or are you buying him for 3 seasons? Or
No, come on, you're buying for the long term.
Yeah.
So that's why Leroy is here, and Raj is here, and Legabel is here.
Yeah.
All they're 20 years old, except 1 or 2 cases were a little bit old, because sometimes we need experience. Of course, we have to buy, the age is so important. Maybe we're going to play a guy with 28, 29 years old, because we are sure in that position is not too many, and we're going to give us 2 or 3 or 4 important years. But of course, as young as possible, they are much, much better.
So that planning's actually underway
Of course.
all the time.
Of course, because we were here with the owner, with the chairman, and they told me again, we create something just for the beginning. For the beginning.
And that's
the
how
9 years old, something from
Yeah.
the beginning, but it just, we are starting the beginning. We're going to create something for the next generations to be there. Manchester City, it was in a team, with people a lot in Manchester, and people around, but always we're in the middle, and we want to put in that club and always being continued to be there.
So they've sort of reaffirmed that this is a
Yeah.
long project. Yeah.
They reaffirmed that. It was a pleasure to know the owner for the first time, because Khaldun is one of the nicest persons I ever met in my life, like a dirigent, like a person. I met his family, and I feel that they want to keep going and improving the mistakes, because the people expect, okay, we spend money and immediately have a success.
Yeah.
But the people don't forget there are 20 teams in Europe, in the world, spend the same moment at Manchester City,
Yeah.
the same money.
Yeah.
The same money, the English teams, the Spanish teams,
Yeah.
some of the Italian teams, important teams like in Germany, spend a lot of money than like a Manchester City. We want, and they want to learn, and the people cannot expect we just spend money, the results immediately. So to achieve to be an the elite in Europe football, we need time. And the money can help to advance that,
Yeah.
but it's not immediately. And today, these days, when I speak with Khaldun, today with Sheikh Mansour, I felt that that is a commitment for a long time, for a long term. And it doesn't matter the players will be, and it doesn't matter the managers will be, that is will be continue to be there, because they wanna help the community and the Manchester to be recognized, not just one team, as strong like United there, there is another one.
That is a fantastic way to end the interview.
Of course.
On a high note. The future's bright. It'll
Of
be even whatever we achieve this
It doesn't
season will
matter.
be better next
I am
season.
pretty sure
Yeah.
the people who take in charge for the last 9 years, they will be there. The commitment will be there until, of course, they decide. But they want to improve. So we make a mistake, it's okay. Important is to know that which is the challenge. When is the next one? When is the one? To make less mistakes in the future, and always to be there. To be there like we are now, fighting for the 3 competitions, okay? And the target now is arrive in April. In March and April to be
In the
fighting
3.
for the 3 competitions. And after that, we're going to see what we want to do.